a moment where in our big episode in which Kurt comes back in time and stays there, that she's kind of noticing that things are changing a bit. So that's a good indication that something else is going on.
But it's also, I mean, Jennifer is the only character that when she's older, she's in the future, she knows a lot. So it's because she plays such a large role in what's happening.
All right. Well, speaking of the virus, does anyone else here think that Cole is actually the precursor, like Cole's of the virus? What do you think, Meredith?
Can we hear that again? How many people think that?
When I saw that,
I couldn't say for sure. I will say that in this show, a lot of breadcrumbs are dropped in various directions, and those breadcrumbs may or may not lead to the places that you think they will.
Now, what would you say is Cole's mindset now that he is kind of stuck in the past?
Well, a lot happens towards the very end of season 1, and particularly the very last episode, to fundamentally change several of the characters. And at the beginning of season 2, Cole is a different man. And he has made his choice at the end of season 1, and that he chose life. And so he's in sort of a brand new place at the end of season 2.
All right, and on the flip side, Rayleigh has been sent to the future. How is she dealing with being in the future, especially like this is a place where she's not immune to the virus. She's also watched, she tried to shoot Ramsey,
she did shoot him.
Yeah, she did shoot him, she left Aaron to die. I mean, how is she feeling now in the future?
I think season 2, I know season 2 we'll see a brand new Rayleigh, which is really exciting because she will, and I'm giving a little bit of a spoiler here, she will have lived, by the time we catch up to her, she will have lived for a period of time in the future. And there will be an evolution from where we saw her last in season 2 going forward, where she takes off in, season 1 going forward in season 2.
Now, she's in the future where Deacon, the lovely Todd Stashwick over here, has basically taken control of the Project Splinter alongside the Blue Man Group. What kind of dynamic do Cassie and Deacon have, Todd?
Well, I don't want to just say it. I think, here's the thing, Deacon grew up in the time of the apocalypse, and she was the television poster child for the CDC, so you can kind of imagine a 13-year-old boy looking at her at very key moments of his adolescence. And then getting a chance to meet her again as a swarthy, somewhat fit, early 40s gentleman. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying.
And Amanda, how does Cassie feel about Deacon?
I don't know. I don't even know what you just said.
And we do have some good news when it comes to Todd, as well as Emily and Barbara have all been up to series regular for season 2. So let's turn to Jones. What would you say is her main sort of drive now? I mean, people have come in on Project Splinter, are trying to take it over. Like, where are we finding Jones in season 2?
Well, she's still, her main thing is the mission. The mission will probably always be in her head, but time travel will bring her some surprises, and she will get in contact with parts of herself that she probably did not know before. So there is a window into her heart, maybe, or her soul.
Well said.
Okay. And we do have a little casting news as well. Terry, Travis, do you want to share?
Yes, another character we are bringing on that may or may not have something to do with what Barbara just said. We're bringing on Michael Hogan from Battlestar Galactica, Colonel Ty. We're really excited about that. If only if we could get a scene with him yelling at Barbara, talking about that fracking machine out there.
That would be
Toaster. We'll be in good shape. We'll make it happen.
Can you tell us a little bit about who he's playing?
Yeah. He's playing someone on the show 12 Monkeys. No, he's playing a scientist who didn't, nobody had met prior.
You're going.
Censor.
Yeah, I can't say why.
You'll just leave it?
Sorry, hearing your face all opens.
So Kirk, you did a phenomenal job in one of my favorite episodes last season, Shonen. He was amazing in that time travel episode, right? I have to ask, how difficult was it to learn all that Japanese?
It's like memorizing sounds. Because it's not like you're doing a dialect and speaking it in, you're doing Russian but you're talking in English. It's literally sounds. It was very hard, very difficult. So we had to cut like almost half because there's like 2 monologues. Because literally you're just memorizing. There's nothing. It was on.
Do you have any idea what you were saying?
Oh, absolutely. I know everything I was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
We did get a reunion between Cole and Ramsey in the finale, albeit, Ramsey has been shot. But do you think Cole and Ramsey can repair their relationship in the new season for air?
Yeah, I mean, I think their relationship has been changed.
He has to apologize. Seriously, he owes me an apology.
Wait.
The man was out holding a grudge, yeah.
His woman shot me. I'm trying to save my son.
Fair.
He's trying to get laid.
That's one interpretation.
What's that?
So as you can see, the relationship has been fundamentally changed.
What is it like for them? Where are we picking up with Cole and Ramsey when the show returns?
Well, they're on the run, let's just say. We're shooting in Budapest, the opener, so that's about all I'll say about that.
It's complicated.
It's very complicated between the two of them, but they won't quit each other.
Now, can you talk a little bit about some of the dynamics this year, because everyone is in such a different place than the first season? What are we going to be seeing next year as far as new characters teamed up or what?
Well, I mean, one thing is that a huge shift for the show is that Cassie's a contract. And that's going to be a major part of the show now. It used to be that she was just in 2016 or 2015. And as fun as it was to have her be sort of the audience proxy, she was an everyday person. She did feel like she was in her story, and then we had the future. We had all these things that she wasn't part of, and now she's part of all of it.
And we have, characters who will have scenes now that didn't last season, like Jones and Jennifer Goins have a relationship, and Deacon and Cassie, and Deacon and Jones. Ramsey and Cassie is a really interesting dynamic. And once they sit down and finally talk, what are they going to say to each other? And the big question I think that we always ask is, as far as the love story goes, will our two lovers finally consummate? Cole and Ramsey are going to.
It's been a long time coming.
Is there hope though for Cassie and Cole, or are they just always going to sort of be torn apart by time?
Well, I think that's the serious question. Actually, is they start this season in a drastically different places, I will say. They're not quite the partners we met at the end of last season. So they're going to have to find each other again.
Okay. And now Ramsey, we all thought, I think, that he was the witness before he then said that he actually is not the witness. So is there anything you can tease about that journey? Are we going to actually meet said witness this season?
Sort of.
Yeah.
We're gonna answer
There's a lot of questions that will be answered. The Red Forest, what was that woman doing to Cassie, and where was that place, these visions.
Where did those remains come from?
Where did those remains come from? What did the 12 monkeys really want? We're going to answer that question. And is there something bigger, are there higher stakes than just the plague? And when I say just the plague, remember that's 7 billion people dead, so there could be something even bigger than that.
What happened to Aaron?
Right? What happened to Noah Bean's character, Aaron?
And I'm curious for the cast, like, are you guys able to keep the storyline, the timeline straight, or are you constantly asking?
We have no idea.
We have no idea.
We're so
confused. It keeps us up late. I can't tell you how many times I've been up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've been like, oh God, we can't do that, because this guy went back and did this, and she would know this, so that person can't do that.
And I'm like, honey, go back to that.
Barbara, you're the one who has to spew out a lot of this time travel stuff. How difficult are these lines for you?
Well, I keep a real good journal of every scene and to keep it straight in my head. I mean, going down, circulating the rabbit hole of time is very dangerous. So I kind of navigate it, but I also make my own theories.
And what theories do you have about what's going on? Please, enlighten us.
Well, you know, if you want to look at it scientifically, it's always a dangerous path, because if something is possible, you have to think of how much actual science you have to revoke in order to make it. And we are still kind of stuck with Einstein and Hawkins, and so once they can bring the theory of relativity and quantum mechanics together, then things become a little easier to bring into a happening. But I think there is a lot of magic involved in time, and time is real cruel, and I'm really making all this shit up.
So, we've got an explanation as to why Ramsey didn't age through all those years, which kind of made me wonder why Olivia, aka the striking woman, kind of looks the same throughout the entire history of the show. Could she maybe also be a time traveler?
She might be. No. You will learn a bit more about that. You will learn a little bit more. You'll learn a lot more about that. But I have a really, really big spoiler I'm about to drop.
No. Go on.
This season, Ramsey has hair.
Huge. Breaking news. Heard it here first.
It's a wig.
How much more are we going to be learning about the Army of the 12 Monkeys this season, and sort of what their goals really are?
That's the
Very early on, we're going to get an idea of what those 12 messengers were doing, taking Jones's time machine, what their plans for it are, and their sort of overall vision of the world and time itself.
Okay. Well, we're going to go to fan questions in just a second, but I want to hear from the cast for a moment. Your production is actually going to start in about 2 days. What would you guys say you're most nervous or excited for going back for season 2? Do you want to start, Aaron?
I'm just excited now that we're starting from a great place, because the characters are all fleshed out at this point. The relationships have been established, so there's a lot of meat there to bite into. And what's great is this season, everybody is smashed together. There's a lot of storylines that finally intersect. I think it's going to be great to see that.
I'm just going to piggyback on a lot of what Aaron just said and say that I'm really excited to get the opportunity to work with a lot of people that I didn't get the chance to work with last year because Cassie was primarily based in 2015. I'm also really excited about her new journey, the evolution that took an entire season to sort of build to and where she's going starting in the second season. I'm really, really looking forward to it. Kirk?
Got a call from Terry about a month ago, and he's like, so I got some great news. I was like, yeah, what's that? He's like, you and Aaron are going to be nude this season. And I was like, in the same scene? And he was like, oh, wait. So, I'm excited about that. Getting nude with Aaron.
So, Barbara?
Oh, there's so many things. One thing I'm in my life, I'm a mother of 3 boys and almost grown up, and I have always, in the 12 Monkeys, I was also in the first season, mainly in the boys club. And so now we're having the girls coming to me, so I am really excited to also play with Amanda and with Emily. That's one thing that's going to bring a different dynamic.
Well, it's starting off bad because that was my yeah, I'm really excited about like working with other people on the show who I've never gotten a chance to work with. Those are my answers.
Are you passing the ball to me? Okay, great. Well, first of all, what's exciting, everything they said. Terry was telling me earlier in the year when they were letting me know that I was coming back as a series regular, because we have to kind of repurpose Deacon, and he's got a lot of ideas. And then he used 3 words. He said he's going to be a sociopathic Han Solo. And then I said, have you been reading my journal? You left, like, welcome to my wheelhouse. So the idea of taking this guy who was very much a villain, albeit charming and crazy and horrible, but then trying to find his altruism and trying to find how he works within the dynamic.
Are we playing a drinking game here?
But yes, so exploring the difference, because it was pretty much straight up antagonism between everybody last season with Deacon, and this season it's going to be a lot more cooperation and trying to find how he fits into the structure of the mission. So I'm excited about that. And, yeah.
Would you say he's not just pure evil? Maybe we'll see him.
I don't think he was ever just pure evil. I think he was a pussycat. I think he was the guy that would do things that other people weren't willing to do in order to survive. And we actually had conversations about it. The fact that, I saved 200 people already. I saved 200 people. Like West 7, I was doing my job and doing things that other people weren't willing to do. And so he does have a heart, a warm, creamy center. But in the times that he lives in, he has to do some things that are unsavory. But if he happens to enjoy doing them, who's going to blame him? Exactly. Make your job your hobby. And
Terry, what would you say you're most excited about for the new season?
It's definitely more emotional this season, right from the get-go, just because of everything we burned through a lot of story last season. And these people loved each other, they were betrayed by each other, they're closer. So now, having all that behind you, really, the storytelling has become a lot more nuanced and really rooted in characters. It's all character, and we get to see new parts of all these characters.
Travis.
I mean, we didn't know we were coming back, and so when we finished, you know, Terry and I did last season as if we would never get to make another frame of television, which they have noticed. We packed a lot in, and it was so much fun working with these guys, and so being able to do that again is amazing. And I think the first season was just such a great foundation for the stories we're going to tell now, and we're going to be able to, everybody gets to dig in a little bit more, and we're going to do stuff with time travel that's never been done, I think. So.
And we're going to go to a lot more exotic time periods. We're going to go further back, and this time Cole may not be traveling alone.
All right, so we have some fan questions.
Hey, my favorite is the web series. Totally love it, and I noticed a lot of people didn't really know about it when it was happening.
Oh, thank you.
So,
Best
my
thing
question
ever.
is, yeah, in season 2, are you going to continue with it? And
Jennifer going down there.
We'll have to get a picture with her later.
Or now.
But yeah, I just want to know, yeah, would it be on the DVD and is it
The web series.
The web series, yeah.
Yeah, no, for those of you who did get to see it, there's some really, I think actually some of Jennifer's best stuff ended up in the webisodes. So they are on the Blu-ray, and I know that they're coming out. I don't know if there's a release date. It will be coming, and they are on there.
And there will be more.
And that's really cool that you wore that.
Hi, just a quick question. I know you guys had a little segment with the watches and they touched and big explosion. It was in the trailer. You know, it happened once more in the first series. Is it going to happen in the second series?
Ooh, yes. Big time. Yes. Yes.
There will be more paradox.
There will be a lot of paradox.
I was wondering what version of time travel you're going with for the show. Because in the movie, we had this whole idea that the future was already set and Cole couldn't change it. But now in the show, we've seen Cole jump timelines and actually change the future. So how's that? What's your goal and plan for that?
I mean, we're time travel agnostic in a lot of ways. That, you know, there's not one way that time works or that time travel works, as we've shown in the first season. But there is an overall mechanic to how it works, and we're going to explore that.
It's kind of a new one that you haven't seen before that'll explain some of the causality issues and the way time works. Jones is going to have a lot to deal with this season in that regard.
Hey, great show, big fan. I've watched Kurt since he was younger. Seems like he never aged. So you are a time traveler. So I'm watching it, and then I see all the y'all, and you still seem very healthy and all of that. But all of the scenes since the very beginning, they're just so intense all the time. And so it's one, is it just exhausting doing it? You know, and how do you get up for it? You know, each time. When you said it's going to be more emotional, you know, next year I went, oh my God. So I think that was it basically. Is you know, how do you get up for it, and then as your experience as, you know, actors, is it, you know, more draining than other things that you've done, because it is, you know, so much of it is pretty intense.
Yeah, it's pretty exhausting. The actual material, the physical aspects, all of that is very tiring, and then also adding to that the fact that we're working a television schedule. We're shooting an episode every 7 days, so it's extremely labor intensive. So yeah, It's exhausting, and actually what was great about that is, at least for my character, he's supposed to, diminish throughout the entire series. He takes on more and more damage and wounds, and he loses a piece of himself every time he travels. So where I actually literally was physically and emotionally destroyed and exhausted by the end is where I was supposed to be. So dovetailed very nicely.
Do any of you do your own stunts on the show?
And I walk on the table.
Yeah, most of us do. I mean, there's always stunt guys there to do some of the heavy lifting, but most of it's it's like basic combat stuff, and we enjoy doing that most of it.
Next question.
As impossible as it might be to get them to do that, is there any chance of a cameo by Bruce Willis or Brad Pitt? Just they walk by or something?
Bruce Willis was the witness. You guys didn't know that? What is Bruce?
Stay tuned is the best I think we can say.
Hi. I was just wondering what each of you have a favorite line in the show so far?
A favorite line? We start down here. Todd.
I think my favorite line, it was actually an improvised line when I was, no offense, you guys are good. But when I was,
Deacon dies in the first episode.
and I timed you was when I was cutting into Cole's chest, just going, I know. Yeah, that was my favorite one.
My favorite line. Cassie, can you just start to just talk for a minute? Like say something?
Oh, she
Let
said,
me laugh.
you say it's not.
That's all I heard. Baseball
I like to say, initiate splinter sequence.
I don't. Shujin Tachio.
Everyone's using their own favorite lines that they said. I think my favorite lines all came out of Emily's mouth.
Although it was great when you slapped her.
And she really wanted me to hit her. And I did it.
To the future!
That's not this show.
Next question.
Yeah, I was wondering about Jones and her loss with her daughter, and if that's going to play a bigger part in next season too.
That story is not over.
Yeah, please ask more questions so that I find out what's going on.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth. I'm not sure if my question will help with that, so if anybody wants to provide any insight into the future for the story, go right ahead. My question is about actually how much you plan in advance, given that we appreciate how you'll drop a breadcrumb in episode 2, and then episode 6, that suddenly makes sense. So how much do you know about the next season right now, and how much do you sort of change and adapt over time?
A lot. Yes, a lot. You have to have some room to discover new things, even when you're shooting. But even right now, by episode 2, we have enough breadcrumbs dropped for the finale and season 3. we know how it ends. We had, with the time travel show, the more you know, the better.
I mean, we know how the series ends.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you guys know what that last scene is, or have a
Yes.
general idea?
Yes, yes, we do. Yeah, we knew it since the pilot. We knew what it had to be. They got it right. They have to do it. They have to do it. It'll make you all cry.
I'm not gonna pull a sorry.
Deacon lies dying, crawling into the machine. Save the world.
Season 5 when Deacon's a woman now.
Do you have another fan question?
I know you guys touched on the paradox with the watch in season 1, and there's actually an opportunity in season 1 where adult Cole comes in or close contact with young Cole. I'm just wondering if the paradox extends to biological objects, people. And
Yes.
You mean like if you took a part of somebody and put
Hey.
it together?
Wow.
with
Okay.
another?
Nobody listen to this.
Yeah, we might explore something.
Yes. The answer is yes. Biological paradox is a bad thing. I want a shirt that says
Well, speaking of young Cole, in that episode, you guys mentioned his mother. Is there a chance we might get to find out who his mother is?
there's a chance.
I'll take a chance. Next question.
Yes, this is kind of more of a technical question. So, in the movie, kind of a big reveal is that everybody in the future is insane. They have some kind of mental disease or illness or disability. Are we going to be, and you briefly mentioned in the panel that you're going to be dealing more with madness in the second season. Would you care to elaborate a little bit on that? Are we going to be seeing more stuff in the characters?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Everybody in the movie was insane so much as the conditions in which they were living made them seem that way. I mean, I wouldn't say that, it's not like all the scientists were crazy, as crazy as Brad Pitt was in the movie. Same as like, what's happening with our characters. No one's like Jennifer Goins, but there are people who time travel has made them not well in the head.
So yes.
Well, speaking of that don't look sort of right in the head, can you talk a little bit about the 12 or the Blue Man Group?
The messenger.
And what the messengers? What's their sort of importance, and what are they kind of after in the future?
Well, they're percussionists. And
you got to stay tuned to our. You'll know right away in our season opener what they're intending to do.
Okay. And Amanda, how does she take to the messengers, to the 12?
Oh, they don't get along very well. I don't think that's a spoiler. Is it? I don't think that that Cassie and the messengers have a common goal.
Okay. All right. Next question.
Hi. I'm T. I'm the girl who's probably incessantly and probably annoyingly tweeting your praises all the time in Toronto. And, sorry,
What's your Twitter name?
TK_88.
Oh yeah.
Well, because it's rare that people from one of my old favorite shows, Nikita, is working on one of my new favorite shows. So, in the spirit of things, do you guys have a wish list of guest stars? Maybe some of your former co-stars?
That you don't already have?
I think
I'd love. We've already had a lot of them, as you know, on the show, and it's been great working with Noah. It's been fantastic. Once you spend a lot of time with somebody, you already have shorthand communication with one another. It's nice to have that. Xander Berkeley was fantastic. I wish I got a chance to have some scenes with him. I think Terry's been tweeting back and forth with Shane West about potential appearance. He's expressed interest.
Shane definitely wants to do the show, so we'll see.
Yeah. So that'd be great.
I'm a little curious, when it comes to Noah in particular, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, is Aaron alive?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for that, answer that question.
Okay, all right. And is the Pathé Man alive? Are we going to see him in season 2?
Stay tuned.
I'm trying to break them down.
I will say that the Pallet Man has very good genes. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
And to note, not Kirk's dad, which Kirk loves to tweet. Pallet Man.
What would you say the show is ultimately a metaphor for? What would you say the show is ultimately a metaphor for?
Death.
It is, you'll see, but I think that, it's about fate, is there something more powerful than fate, which is the question we asked at the end of the first season, and I think it's love.
I mean, if you look at what they're trying to do, they're trying to undo death. They're trying to save their loved ones, their daughter, 7 billion people.
Right? Love.
Love.
About love, guys.
Let's hope that.
Unfortunately, that's about all the time we have, but in case you missed a single moment of season 1, you can catch the whole thing anytime on demand at sci-fi.com and the Sci-Fi Now app. But before we go today, we're going to show a sneak peek at Sci-Fi's newest series, The Magicians, which is based on the Lev Grossman bestsellers, which will premiere in early 2016. And thank you so much. A round of applause as well.